Hello and welcome everybody to this joint DVB and HbbTV webinar on using targeted advertising on broadcast television. My name is Jörn Krieger and I'm going to be the host for you together with Emily Dubs from DVB. Let me get my camera running. Will run in a moment, and welcome you. And there's lots of you today. We have more than 285 people who registered for this webinar. So thanks to all of you. And here you can see me now. And it's a beautiful afternoon over here in Germany. And we have guests today from 4 different European countries, I think. So this will be quite exciting in the next 60 minutes. As usual, in the DVB and HbbTV webinars, there is room for a Q&A at the end in the last 15 minutes. So please do keep sending us your questions throughout the presentations. We'll collect them over here, and then Emily and me will go through them and hopefully get great responses from our high-level panelists today, which I'm going to introduce to you in a moment. First, let's say hello and welcome Emily from DVB. Hi.
Hi, Jörn. Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending. And this is just a short note to let you know that while you are listening to this webinar today and while preparing your questions for our speakers, you should keep in mind that there will be a second part in 2 weeks' time, and this second part will focus on the specifications themselves, how they fit together, and you'll hear also some market stories, just as now, but that will be rather focused on the implementation side. So I'll tell you more at the very end of this today's session.
Thank you. As Emily mentioned, it's a 2-part webinar series because this is such a great topic, as confirmed by the high number of registrations using targeted advertising broadcast television, that we've decided to split it into 2 panels and to see that there are just so many people who wanted to be speakers and hold their presentations, and you'll soon see why this is so interesting for the industry. This is part 1, the targeted advertising opportunity for free-to-air broadcasters. Now it's time to welcome our first presenter, Sebastian Buse from smartclip, an RTL Group subsidiary. He is director Addressable TV International. He'll be followed by Arturo Larrainzar from Atresmedia over in Spain. He's the head of strategy. And then we have Silvia Broggi from Italy at Publitalia 80, a subsidiary of Mediaset, who's the international marketing and MarTech director. So welcome, Sebastian. Great that you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for giving me the first session for this meeting today. And I'd like to take the chance to start with an introduction on the importance of addressable TV advertising for the TV advertising industry, as the industry obviously is facing some challenges and tasks, and then also, of course, focusing on why HbbTV is playing such an important role currently in Europe for broadcasters. Shall I just give it a start, or any further comments from you, Jörn?
No, please go ahead and start your presentation. The stage is yours, Sebastian.
Okay, thanks. Can you give me a green light if you see my deck, my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. You see it, right?
Not yet. Share your screen.
Share screen.
Yeah, something's happening, and now in presentation mode, and then we're ready.
Okay, here we go. So, as said, HbbTV, a focus on HbbTV today, as we think, or as it has been proven that HbbTV clearly is driving the success story of targeted advertising in Europe. And why is that such an important topic, and why is that so important for broadcasters from a strategic perspective? And of course, most of you know, and most of you working in these topics, and we are all thinking towards the future. And we all agree, I think, or at least most of us, that traditional TV advertising will need to become fully digital, which means fully addressable. So the TV industry is on the doorstep or in an era facing big changes and big challenges on how to move forward in a fully digitalized TV advertising business. And why is that happening? And why is are there some threats? And what are these threats for the TV advertising industry? And I think most of you stumbling about these topics every day in your daily conversations, but just to give you some of them, it's clear that digital advertising budgets are surpassing TV. The consumption is moving away from traditional linear TV as we know it, free-to-air TV, satellite TV, cable TV. There's a lot of new competitive content offerings and ways of consuming and perceiving linear TV content. And of course, there is these tech giants or GAFAs or FANGs or however you call them, actively attacking the TV business with devices, with their content offerings, with competitive solutions to the traditional TV advertising business. And on the other hand, there is the demand side, the advertisers that require and ask for scalable and standardized addressable TV solutions to finally be able on a scalable way to reach their audience in linear content with digital capabilities and digital targeting. So that's the background, and this is what we see as main requirements for broadcasters to respond to these challenges and these current threats they are seeing. First of all, it's about digital infrastructure. So broadcasters need to invest in digital infrastructure, ad serving technology, digital inventory management systems, but also looking in ways on how they can control and manage their data. They sit on a, I would say, treasure of data. We will come back to that later. And that is really something they have to take care of. And on top of that, of course, that is one of the big topics for today, invest in addressable TV advertising product, be it full ad break replacement in linear television or SSAI or SSAS solutions in their OTT and online video environments. And what we also see to really be successful in that current situation, they need to look for standardization and also possibly think about alliances to collaborate with other broadcaster partners on the European market. So that is the background. So we're talking a lot about investing in digital infrastructure, also in standardization and standardized products. But when we look into Europe, we all know that this is quite a fragmented market, and it makes it very, very hard to really come up with a standard that fits all shoe sizes, so to say, and all the different market needs and market requirements. And this is where HbbTV comes in. And I would actually say it's a best case sample on how a standard creates a successful ecosystem. And when we look at the very short history, we have to say on HbbTV throughout the last 5 years, when Germany was one of the first countries starting using HbbTV as a standard for addressable or targeted advertising solutions. And then after it was other countries like Spain with Atresmedia, and Italy, Mediaset, Discovery, Viacom are doing a great job. Also France is using and making use of HbbTV. And also many, many other countries throughout Europe are using HbbTV already for HbbTV or for addressable TV advertising product. Currently, and that's my personal assumption and calculation, it might be much more, but what we see is between 50 or even 60, 70 million TV devices that already can be addressed today with HbbTV-based addressable TV solutions. 21, there will be more markets and more broadcasters actively looking into HbbTV as a standard for addressable TV advertising. We're talking about France, Spain, Italy, with additional broadcasters that are actively looking into this, but regions also like the Nordic markets, Sweden, are looking into HbbTV based addressable TV solution. When we look into the very impressive history on how broadcasters have been investing in innovative advertising products, it's also pretty, as said, impressive to see how quickly these advertising products have been developed. So first, 2016, they were just looking into live data, but then very soon after, they were looking into display ads, using the data and the advertising delivery mechanisms that HbbTV offers to also use that for cross-device delivery, meaning using the data for adding that TV data to online video campaigns, for example. And then 2019, there were first trials and products for video campaigns. In 2020, we saw in Germany first programmatic campaigns, for example, with DVB as a platform enabling, as a joint venture between RTL Pro7. And in 21, all eyes are on full ad break replacement, and we will also see additional or new specifications like the HbbTV TA specifications that will even enable much more in terms of full ad break replacement that we see today. So it's a pretty cool and short history that HbbTV can offer in regard to addressable TV advertising solutions and products. And in summary, the importance of HbbTV for the TV advertising industry is, as we said, there needs to be standard, and HbbTV is, one of the very few European standards that we see here that really offers scalable, addressable TV advertising products. It offers what all the broadcasters and all digital publishers are after, like control over the ad delivery value chain without any middleman, any need to discuss or negotiate with, let's say, there's a lot of discussions, obviously, with operators. There's a lot of discussions with the tech companies about monetization, commercial deals. And here with HbbTV, they have pretty much the control over the full value chain in their hands. And of course, they have also control over the data, over the TV viewership data, which they then can use for advanced addressable TV advertising products. And just to name a few, and I'm sure we will see some cool examples in the later presentations from Arturo and Silvia, it means for the broadcasters incremental revenues. And this is what we clearly have seen in the European markets, in Germany, Spain, France, Italy, that there is new revenues coming in through HbbTV advertising with new clients, with new advertising products like display, but also already today, video ads and full video ad break replacement. And saying that, this is one of the big topics for next year, for 21, looking at the targeted advertising specification, which will add an important piece to the transformation of the TV ad business into the digital era. And then, of course, making data count, using the data that is being generated from HbbTV for not only products that live on the big screen, but also can be used for the online video inventory for cross-device products like digital TV campaigns that, for example, can then be used for further efficiency, retargeting traditional TV campaigns. So HbbTV in that respect makes it possible to combine the digital and the traditional TV advertising industries that so far have been seen as two very separate silos, but now we actually see that these worlds come closer and closer and will actually merge to one ecosystem. And especially cross-device is a very important topic. And I think Arturo at his presentation will give a very detailed insight what is possible there already today. Yeah, that was my part already as an introduction and background and setting the scene on where we are and why HbbTV plays such an important role for targeted advertising and standardization in the TV business.
Thank you, Sebastian, for this update and overview into the topic. Very great to see so many options we have with open standards to reach new turnover opportunities for classic linear FTA, that's free-to-air broadcasters, and maybe regain a market that some would have thought is already lost to the Googles, Facebooks, and YouTubes of this world. It's great to see that broadcasters can tap into that with the assistance of open specifications by DVB and HbbTV. Sebastian, have I highlighted it correctly?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's very important to emphasize the fact that it's not like, okay, we are lost and digital is gone to Google. The core business of the broadcasting industry obviously is the TV advertising business, and using, for example, HbbTV gives them a big advantage or very good basis to transfer or transform the traditional TV advertising into digital without losing control and data ownership and about the digital infrastructure.
Thank you. And now let's move on to Spain, where Arturo is waiting for us at Atresmedia, and he's going to give us a few examples about services that they've been trying and experimenting with.
Thank you, John. I'm going to share my screen. Could you confirm that there is?
Yes, it's there.
Okay, so thank you for giving me this opportunity to show what we are doing in Spain with regarding Addressable TV. First thing, and I realized, oh sorry, it's frozen. Now, first thing, and Sebastian has already talked about it, but you know, the first point, and especially in this in the place that we are taking this webinar, is that HbbTV has resulted to be the main driver for addressable TV in Spain. If I have been asked 5 years ago, or if anybody who will have been asked 5 years ago in Spain about who will carry out the addressable TV, or who will lead the addressable TV in Spain, I'm sure that everyone will think about telcos driving or addressable TV being driven by IPTV. And the truth is that the HbbTV has been the only driver. We have some initiatives made by telcos now in 2020 or 2021. But as Sebastian has said, we have started some years ago trying to develop this field in Spain. And I'm proud to say that Atresmedia has been one, especially pushing this field. So the reason why is like it led us, the broadcasters, to control the whole environment, as Sebastian has said, and it gave us the reach. You know, everything for broadcasters about reach, and we can reach with HbbTV in Spain 8 million devices and almost 18 people with this technology. So now, you know, as difference between compared with 5 years ago, we have a solution that gives us the ability to reach, you know, the mass people. So I'm not a tech guy, so I want to focus. I want to tell you the products that we do with HbbTV. We have 2 products, but I want to focus on one that I think is more different. The first product is, you know, this L-shape banner, this overlay that we broadcast using HbbTV. That is the standard one that has been carried out in Europe, in other countries like Germany or Italy. And is well developed in our countries. I'm sure that when Silvia talks about it or the things that they are doing, they have developed a lot. So It's not a big difference. The main difference, and it's due to regulation, due to the regulation in Spain, is that it's not a switching L banner, it's like a stream-based L banner. So in terms of the possibilities of reaching people, low viewers of TV, is somehow has a little handicap there. So this is not the killer product, I will say so far, the different product to talk about today. If we think about what we are doing different in Spain, is the cross device. For understanding what we are doing in Spain, first you have to understand that in 2017 we bought in Atresmedia, we acquired the company that it used to be the subsidiary of smartclip Europe, but it was an independent company when we bought it. That it was smartclip Latam. It's a digital network that reaches like has a potential reach of 93% of the digital population in Spain. And when we acquired, we were looking for to increase our reach in the digital landscape, being aware about the fact that although we have a great inventory and we have a premium content and we can reach a lot of TV viewers, have a 93% of reach in the digital landscape is very expensive. It's very expensive to reach. So we realized that we have to rely on a digital network. In that moment, one of the things that we like most is that it has access to all because of the former relationship, it has access to the technology of smartclip. We were not aware about the potential that it has, that it actually has these days. The potential is that we have this reach that we have looking for, but because of the fact of sharing the technology of smartclip, we can gather all the data from the TV and serve it and exploit it in the digital landscape on properties that are outside of Atresmedia with a very, very smooth integration. So we have a perfect fit between the TV environment by which we gather the data and the environment outside of Atresmedia. And basically, this is, as I said, we launched it in 2020, and it's been a killer product in Spain, because it led us to gather the data from half of the households in Spain, like 42% of the households, and be able to let advertisers and brand to do planification, digital planification based on that data on properties that is like all of the digital population in Spain. What makes different is that as there is no any other TV that has a digital network, and there is no digital network that has the TV data, is the only player that can offer that in the market. So it's really resulted in a really differentiated competitive advantage. And a third product that we are offering, because of the consequence of having these two products, is that one of the main handicaps when you think about hybrid products combining traditional TV and digital TV is the currency. How can we offer to advertisers or brands results in which you are able to deduplicate the impact that they are doing somewhere? So we started to develop a reporting tool that is not directly related with HbbTV, but it's a complementary product that it has resulted to be really important to be able to offer some kind of value to our advertisers. Is that we are able to give to advertisers this tool that led them to planificate and to have the result in terms of reach on a deduplicated basis. But this is the self-service tool, as you can see. And what's important is that you can give them the incremental reach that they are doing with the different products, with the digital skin, that it will be the L banner or the cross-device product. Basically, what led us is to give advertisers the net incremental reach that they're gathering inside the TV and outside the Atresmedia environment. If you think about products inside the TV, yeah. Basically, using the L banner, we can increase the awareness of the products like 26%. In terms of incremental reach, we can help to improve the results of their campaigns in terms of 4.4 points on average, which results in a lower cost per point of coverage. As you might know, the main problem is that the TV one of the most attractive things of TV is that let advertisers to get reach on a very low cost per point. But once that you have double the reach that you gather, every incremental point of reach is expensive because you start to duplicate impacts. So with this tool, with the L banner, we can just discriminate the viewers that haven't seen any previous ad. So the cost per incremental point of reach is like almost 50% lower than with traditional TV. And if you mix it with the cross device, it's even better because you can offer reach not just in the TV environment, but also in outside the TV environments. So you can offer to your advertisers like 7 points in the best target, or 5 points in their core targets, or 5 points in general, more incremental reach. So that's the biggest point of this product. And as Sebastian has said, okay, this is just the beginning. We think about what we can do, or we are working on. We are working on doing all this, or being able to offer these tools, but using video, the video format. We are obviously it's easier to do every product from a technical point of view with display format. But we are working to do it inside the break, independently if it's a single spot replacement or even the full ad break replacement. So that's the main milestone for next milestone for 2021. And that will be the overview of Spain. I hope you liked it.
Thank you, Arturo, for this great presentation with lots of insights from the Spanish market. I think you've got to leave us in a minute or two, but please do keep sending us your questions, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. And Sebastian says he's got great knowledge of the Spanish market as well, so I'm sure he'll be responding in your interest, Arturo.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you very much for letting me.
Thank you, and we'll see each other soon again, I'm sure. Now over to Italy, where Silvia is waiting for us from Publitalia 80, and she's going to give us an update on the Spanish market and the Italian market with some figures and use case examples. Silvia.
Thank you, Jorn. I'm going to share the screen.
I'll let you know when it's online.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, now in presentation mode, and then we're ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to walk you through a few charts just to present you our addressable offer and the added value of a data-driven campaign on such a powerful media as TV, especially in Italy. We've been working with successfully with Fincons since the very beginning in 2017, when we developed our HbbTV application and launched the first addressable format, starting with the display advertising in 2017, and immediately after we released the application for the editorial offer, giving the opportunity, of course, to deliver addressable video campaign on smart TV. Tested the dynamic ad replacement in 2019, and we were on air the year after. And at present, we are testing HbbTV targeted advertising. But let's start with numbers of connected TV in Italy. On a total of 8 million families, like 33% of Italians households already watch TV through a connected TV set, and our addressable offer reach 7 million TV households, both on MHP and HbbTV. We work with two different advertising formats. On live TV, we developed the same as Arturo was showing, L-shaped banner and an overlay on the TV spot on linear television. They're both interactive, and they include the call to action that takes the viewer inside the TV site where clients can present their product, their services using any kind of material. And through our OTT platform, Mediaset Play Infinity, which has been rebranded recently, we can offer all our content library, and we work with video campaigns, like extension of the traditional TV flight or a standalone campaign on connected TV with pre-roll and mid-roll. They are unskippable, 100% viewability, so very high impact and very qualitative TV campaign. But we then release also the dynamic ad insertion advertising, so we can allow clients to either enhance their campaign with additional TV spots or offer the opportunity to small and medium businesses to approach television with a targeted campaign. So we offer the opportunity to add additional layer of targeting to the traditional ones for TV, because the main asset of addressable advertising is, of course, data, the opportunity to profile their campaign. So what we've done, we have a common DMP that collects all our data coming from smart TV viewers and all data of our digital network. And we also recently acquired a company called the Bean2, is a data company that provides us also with the geo-behavioral information. And of course, those data, the availability of TV consumption information, surfing habits, and punctual data of the TV set, like geolocation and bitrate, service provider, TV brand, offer the advertiser the opportunity to plan and to leverage their communication without the dispersion. So starting with from those data, what we can offer clients is the opportunity to plan geo campaign. We can offer the traditional social demo segment that we retrieve from the TV viewing habits, and we merge TV consumption habits with surfing interest, and we offer like a specific segment of interest, like cooking or talent and reality show, just to give additional layer of communication. And as Arturo was explaining, addressable campaign are very, very powerful in terms of integration, and they can complement traditional TV flight, especially when they are planned in a retargeting way. So what we offer clients is the opportunity and the possibility to work on exposed or non-exposed to traditional linear campaign, ad reach, ad frequency, and as well as Arturo was saying, the additional point of coverage that an addressable campaign can reach, can add to the traditional flight. It's absolutely less expensive than the additional point on TV. So it's absolutely an added value for advertisers. And we we can retarget TV on TV, so plan addressable campaign on exposed or non-exposed on smart TV. And we can also extend the audience of the client, planning digital campaign on our network, trying to contact the already exposed to linear and addressable TV campaign. In terms of measurement, of course, we are working on giving much information as much as possible to clients, because it's there are new campaigns, there are not common metrics. So what we are trying to offer clients is transparency and all data and KPI that can we share with them. So quantitative report just to quantify the results of the campaign and the KPI of the TV site. We can combine these quantitative data with qualitative researches that try to analyze the impact of addressable campaign before and after in terms of uplift in awareness, in image, in intention to buy. And thanks to Bein2, with the acquisition of Bein2, we've been able to develop a further analysis to provide with clients with additional highlights in terms of effectiveness of addressable TV campaign, measuring the visit in store. So we created an attribution model to monitor the uplift in visits in store for an automotive dealer, just to measure the effects of addressable TV campaign of exposed viewers to addressable TV versus a group control which was not exposed to addressable, and the result was really positive. So if I can summarize the added value of addressable campaign for advertisers, of course, they provide with additional opportunity. They are advertising campaign delivered in premium content where brand safety is absolutely guaranteed, as well as viewability, because the advertising formats, video and display are delivered 100% on screen. They are interactive, so it's a way to engage the viewers very high, with very high impact. And of course, data and the opportunity to offer targeted advertising on TV is absolutely the main driver of addressable advertising. Thank you.
Thank you, Silvia, for this great presentation and insight into the Italian market and what you're doing over there. In the meantime, we've had lots of questions coming in from you, so thanks for your great interest at this stage, and I welcome back the remaining participants and my colleague Emily from DVB to handle the Q&A. We've got 20 minutes time left, so thanks for all the speakers to stay within the intended time frame. I know it's sometimes difficult, but this opens up a great opportunity to look at all your questions, and they're all quite interesting and highly relevant, I think, and they provide additional value to this webinar. So it's great to be live, and let's dig into the questions first. Emily, you're going to get started, and then we'll see who's the right person to respond.
Thank you, Jorn. And indeed, we saw lots of interesting questions, and we prepared a slide with the most relevant ones. I mean, the ones that the audience has voted for. So I'm waiting for this slide to come out in a few seconds.
Yes, now it's in main screen mode.
Much. So the first question is for Sebastian, and the question is simply, do you see any GDPR challenges with addressable TV in the HbbTV environment? And this question is closely linked to another one that we had, which is, how do you manage user consent and ensure that a collection on connected TVs is GDPR compliant?
Yeah, GDPR, always a fun topic, and you can rely on getting a question on GDPR during any seminar. But
we've
yeah,
won the bet.
But yeah, obviously, I wouldn't say it's a challenge. It's a requirement that you have to fulfill. Like on any other digital screen, you deliver ads to. So what we do is, of course, providing a fully GDPR compliant infrastructure and solution, which essentially means that each and every device where we aggregate or collect data and also serve ads, we need to get the consent, which means in the end a overlay display ad where you have the option to opt in, opt out, read through the terms and conditions in all the details. That's how it's solved in all markets where we are using our solution, and I think throughout the board of all HbbTV solutions.
Thank you, Sebastian.
You
So
want me
next
to add something?
Yeah, please, sure, Silvia,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's
Thanks.
the same thing in Italy. We, the viewer, as soon as is tunes on our channels, he gets a disclaimer asking for consent just to be GDPR compliant. So we work with the first party data, GDPR compliant, and the consent is asked just to deliver addressable advertising and be sure that the viewer wants to share their information. And it's the main goal of addressability, just to provide the right advertising in front of the right person. So
indeed. Thank you very much for these further explanations. Next, we have the question about programmatic advertising. So El banner usually with a reservation method. So I'm not sure I correctly understood that question. I don't know who would like to answer that.
Yeah, happy to take that. I mean, I think the question was on when I was referring to, for example, D-Force in Germany, the joint venture of ProSieben and RTL, so the buying platform for programmatic addressable TV advertising. And yes, to a large share, we or that platform is based on programmatic guaranteed buying. But there is other commercial models possible, obviously.
Thank you very much, Sebastian, for that. Next is another question. So someone who says that it's great to see all these opportunities for HbbTV and all these great user stories. Our struggle is how to convince the TV manufacturers across the world to start supporting HbbTV. Not all TV manufacturers are willing to support HbbTV by default or without agreements. So this is the questions from René. Who would you like to answer that?
It's very technical, but I think broadcasters have to deal with manufacturer to push for standardize the HBB protocol and of course make HbbTV available in each country with the same capabilities.
Thank you, Silvia, indeed. Now we have a question, so again related to HbbTV TA. Is HbbTV TA already planned to be integrated into some TV models? If so, do you know when for each country? Sebastian, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, I don't have any precise numbers, but I would say yes, there is conversations between, I would say, most of the major European broadcasters on that specification with most of the major TV manufacturers. And as said in my presentation, it will be a product to be expected launched in Q4 in, for example, in Germany with one of the major, between one of the major broadcasting groups and also a big TV manufacturers. And there is already trials in each and every markets ongoing with that new specifications. So that's really something we can look forward to.
Thank you very much.
And I think we can also look forward to that in the next part of this webinar series, where we're going to address the more technical, specific issues and probably shift these things into the next session then.
Exactly. Thank you. We have some more questions. For instance, we have one which was initially intending for Arturo. I don't know if Sebastian might be able to answer it. So about the cross-device, can you make Addressable so targeted if you know who is logged in on the device, like a tablet or smartphone?
Yeah, it's less about knowing who is logged in at that exact moment. We use a device matching algorithm with which is pretty much based on knowing which of the devices use the same Wi-Fi range, IP range in a household. And based on that, we connect the devices to that smart TV, to that HbbTV enabled smart TV, and build these so-called households. Maybe also Silvia can add more to the logic and algorithms, but I think that pretty much explains the logic.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. We match devices that are linked on the same Wi-Fi network, and then we have a digital network where we can plan a digital campaign trying to retarget the same users that were connected to the same Wi-Fi inside the households where the smart TV is. So it's very appealing for clients, and the market is really approaching this kind of planning, trying to extend the audience on other devices, on second screen, in other environment, in a digital environment. So it's really great.
Thank you, Silvia. So we had some more questions, and maybe now we can answer this one also, Silvia. So which is, what's the basic currency employed for addressable TV in Italy? Is that CPM, or do you consider other metrics such as reach points?
No, it's CPM. We sell on a CPM base. Yeah, either L-shape campaign, display campaign, and the video campaign too. Of course, there is a co-viewing factor that we take into consideration when planning addressable advertising campaigns, because TV is a family screen, it's not a personal screen. So when we deliver, we also take into consideration the co-viewing, but we sell views based on CPM.
Thank you very much. There was a related questions also about the prices. Are they growing or falling? And what's an average CPM? I don't know if this is an easy one.
Well, I would say that the CPM is stable. I mean, we kept it stable since the very beginning. And we position addressable advertising as TV campaign, so it's quite high, but I think it's justified because of the quality of the addressable campaign, the quality of the screen, the quality of the experience, the viewing experience. So clients are very keen on spending that CPM for addressable TV campaign, because the contact that you can reach thanks to data is very qualitative. So
indeed, thank you very much. So now we have one related to the giant tech. So it's a question for Sebastian. Is FAANG a threat to TV broadcasters? So it is a threat, undoubtedly. On the other hand, isn't smartclip also a threat to other European broadcasters' businesses while owned by media giant RTL?
Cheers to Germany.
Cheers to Germany.
Yeah, I mean, great question. And I totally get the point. Yeah, first of all, we are owned by RTL by 100%. Yeah, that's a fact. But on the other hand, we are providing our services and solutions to obviously broadcasters also outside of the RTL group. Just to name a few, there's Atresmedia in Spain, as Arturo mentioned, there is Discovery, there is Viacom. So many other big broadcasters are using our system. And that's the idea behind the investment also of RTL into smartclip, creating an open digital platform for streaming services, but of course also broadcasters, because the idea is that all European broadcasters play on the same side of the playing field, and we all have the same ideas. And there is many conversations about collaborations and how to create strength as a European in a European approach, so to say, and by combining, yeah, let's say forces and combining reach and combining knowledge about the European market. I mean, I have mentioned D-Force. This is just one example where the big big German broadcasters have collaborated. There is many other samples we will see when we just look at the content side of things. There is in markets like Spain with Loves TV, in France we see Salto TV, we see BritBox in the UK. So there is many things moving between broadcasters they might have seen or that might be enemies like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and now there's a big movement to collaborating and being frenemies, so to say.
Exactly. And related to this question, maybe another matter of collaboration. So it's a question from Ariane. So it seems that it's quite a challenge to find agreements with TV manufacturers in one-to-one, especially to get HbbTV TA being integrated in TV firmware. Wouldn't it be possible to imagine a European broadcaster collaboration to negotiate once for all the integration of the TA specification in all European sold HbbTV sets? Would that be the best approach according to you?
Yeah,
I don't know who would like to answer that, maybe both.
I would totally agree that this would be the ideal scenario on a green field, but as we all know, there's always different requirements, different commercial models behind that. But what I can say, I know that especially on that case, there is conversations on how broadcasters together could approach manufacturers in a best way. But it's a challenge to get all big broadcasters on one table and negotiate one deal. And also what we shouldn't forget, that there is governmental limitations in some cases, that bigger broadcasters are not allowed to have these kind of commercial negotiations together with partners. So there are still some hurdles from a legal point of view that also might hinder these conversations. But there's a lot of things happening already.
Sure. Would you like
I think
to
maybe
add something?
Silvia wants to add something.
No, I agree. I totally agree with Sebastian. Collaboration is more than welcome. Conversation are on the way, but of course, not an easy challenge.
Yeah, but I think it's most important when you're talking about using an open standard to actually be an open alliance, form open, some sort of transparency as well.
We lost Jörn, I guess. And Sebastian.
Okay.
Sebastian, can you hear us now? No, we have a small connection issue. This may come back soon.
This is the control room here. It may be an issue with internet connection in Germany, I suppose.
Okay, that's German guys indeed. Okay, so let's maybe move on with the next question in the meantime. We had a question about the benefits that ODMs can get from broadcasters and operators via HbbTV enabled on their devices, with assuming some further investments. So Sebastian and Jörg has been disconnected, obviously. Would you like to answer that question, Silvia?
Can you say it again?
Yeah,
sorry,
I will
missed
repeat.
it.
Sorry. What are the benefits that ODM can get from broadcasters and operators thanks to HbbTV TA enabled on the devices?
That's a technical question.
Yeah, maybe Sebastian, can you hear us now? You are muted.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're back. So it seems that something happened in Germany. So we have a next question for you, which is about the benefits that can ODM get from broadcasters and operators thanks to HbbTV TA enabled on their devices. Can you answer that question?
It's a tough one. I mean, I would also even say that's a good topic to discuss in the DVB seminar. But my personal view is that any collaboration between the broadcasters and manufacturers can bring them closer in terms of finding joint business models, and that I think is also something which is obviously happening on how manufacturers can benefit from these new forms and sorts of addressable TV advertising.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. So we have a very last question for Silvia. What is geo-behavioral data?
GeoBehavioral, B2 is a data company, so they monitor like 8 million smartphone users on the Italian territory. So they gather information about access to to point of sales like stores or automotive dealer. So what we can do, we create segments of users, for example, who are in market for cars because they visited physically dealers. And then we match it with the other properties we have, like portals where you can set your own model for cars, and viewing habits about cars or programs related to cars, Formula E, Formula One. So we create a targeted segment for automotive. So GeoBehavioral is the big segment in terms of physical visits to store.
Thank you very much, Silvia, for this very last question. So it's now time to thank you all our speakers today for their great presentations. I'm sure this will help broadcasters understand that they can definitely have a large piece of the advertising pie alongside with the big giants. So now that you've understood that, you'll probably like to come to the second part of this webinar on the 28th of April. So at that time, we'll first dive into different components of a TA solution with NNCs and via Access Orca. We'll look at both the head-end and the receiver sides and shine some light on where both DVB and HbbTV TA standards map onto them. And they will also tell you about the French scenario for TA on DTT. Then Mediaset will also develop on how in Italy they get prepared for the deployment of a TA solution, a standard-based solution, which has been actually essential for its success. And next, in the looking forward section, Verens will tell us about the watermarking feature and its value for the implementers. Watermarking being the very last feature which has been added to the last revision of the Blue Book, the DVB Blue Book. Then unified streaming will speak about the extension of TA for DVB-I services. And Rufail is the chair of our DVB group in charge of DVB-. And finally, a presentation from Harmonic will describe what are the steps to be taken to reduce fragmentation in the market and to improve the interoperability. So it sounds like a very interesting program too. So I hope to see you there in numbers. Thank you very much for attending this webinar.